It's Carter Sports back, and we still on Miller time. So we finna take a look at the 2024 season and project Miller Moss tutties over under. Let's go. Game of the season. Miller Moss and them boys going against LSU. Them LSU Tigers. They gonna be starting the season with a new quarterback as well. Cause I'm pretty sure Jaden Daniels is going into the NFL draft. Now LSU, I was checking out their roster. They got a young team. They do. They got a young team filled with a lot of sophomores, freshmen, redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores, juniors. Going through their roster, I only counted up like 4 seniors. They only losing like 4 or 5 seniors to graduation. Right? I think they losing Fitzgerald West, Ty G. Hill to the transfer portal. So right now, unless they got some juniors that gonna go to the draft, right now they only losing like 6 players to the draft or to the portal. But we don't know how many of their juniors gonna announce yet. Now LSU last year, their defense was ranked 101. That's really not a good sign, because to me the SEC don't have too many great offenses, right? You got a lot of teams that's based off defense. It's really not an explosive offensive conference. So 101 defensive rank with a young defense coming in next season. I think Miller Moss gonna do his thing. Las Vegas, first game of the season. He got a whole off season to prepare. I like Lincoln Riley versus Brian Kelly. I think Lincoln Riley with a whole off season can come up with a great plan to attack the 101st ranked defense, and most of that defense returning. Now, I'm pretty sure LSU in the transfer game, I ain't really checked out their transfer portal class, but from a young defense that was 101 in 1 year, I mean, you could make a major jump, but I'm gonna bet my money on that LSU defense still need a little bit more work, just like our defense is. So we gonna keep an eye on them and see what they do in the portal for this game and see how they roster looking. I don't know what they quarterback looking like. They quarterback is a question mark. Jaden Daniels going to the draft. So in this game, I feel like Brian Kelly gonna try to run the ball. If you watch USC and you scouting us, you wanna run the ball, because we don't control the edges. We don't control the edges, and in the middle, we give up gaps sometimes. Now I know we got a new defensive coach, but they don't know how we gonna play under our new defensive coach. We don't have the players UCLA got, so it's still different. It's like watching a triangle offense with Kobe and Shaq, and with Jordan and Pippen, and then watching a triangle offense with just anybody. So it's different preparing for the triangle offense in basketball when you playing Jordan and Pippen and Kobe and Shaq against somebody else who running the triangle. You get what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna know our players' tendency within this defense. So I feel like we got a good advantage. Now we ain't gonna have no scouting report on their quarterback, but we can have a scouting report on their defense that they gonna come and run next year. But us is really like a mystery for them. They only got 1 game to look at Miller Moss, and they ain't got no game to look at this scheme with the players we gonna have. So LSU, we more of a question mark than they are. You know, they returning most of their players on defense. Their whole team is young, so they returning mostly everybody. The only difference is gonna be the quarterback. That's gonna be our mystery for them. But they mystery gonna be our whole team. They ain't got a lot of film on Jacoby Lane. They ain't got a lot on Deuce. They damn sure ain't got a lot on Makai. We don't even got a lot on Makai. So I feel like our offense is gonna be able to move the ball. Our coaches, our game plan, I feel like our coaching staff is better than LSU. But this ain't a game review. This a Miller Moss review. And I see Miller Moss tossing 3 to 4 touchdowns. It depends on our run defense. If our run defense is still struggling, then I see like 3 touchdowns. You know, because I feel like they're gonna run the ball, they're gonna try to play time of possession. Because I feel like our offense is lethal. They're gonna respect our offense as lethal. And I feel like they're gonna try to play keep away. But I just got a feeling that our defense, you just ain't gonna be able to keep the ball away on us. If we add the players that we need to add, and the players come out tackling and playing like they did in the Louisville game, our defense gonna get us the ball back. So yeah, I'll bet that Miller Moss throw like 4 touchdowns. I'm gonna pencil Miller Moss in for 4 touchdowns against LSU. I know it's LSU, but their defense is suspect. Their offense was great, but that's why they ain't in the playoffs, because their defense is suspect. And I feel like any suspect defense, you got a capable quarterback for Lincoln Riley calling your plays and you playing within the system. You should toss 3 to 4 tutties. I'm gonna give them an extra 4 tutties just because the receivers we got. And I do believe at this point, with our coaching staff, our defense is not gonna be to the point where teams could just play keep away. Not like that to the point where they dominate time of possession. If the time of possession is about even, I'm giving Miller Moss 4 tutties. This game against Utah State, that's gonna be a scrimmage. I got him tossing 5 tutties, 4 in the first half. Then he gonna get pulled. Utah State, that's 5 tutties. I can already see it. Lincoln Riley really gonna try to flex. And Lincoln Riley, for Miller Moss staying down, for Miller Moss being loyal, I feel like against the Utah State game, he gonna let him pad his stats. Because that team, we should be able to run all over Utah State, right? But Lincoln Riley, he can't help but dial up 40 passes, 30 pass attempts. You know what I'm saying? Especially if the passing game going good. If the running in passing game going, I'll say he'd get 5 against Utah State. Utah State. That's gonna be an easy game. We just see a lot of freshmen play. Hope Xavier Jordan gets some snaps that game. Elijah Newby. That's a game to play them young freshmen to see probably if they gonna get red-shirted or if they actually gonna play this year. So Utah State game is gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be a blowout, but it's gonna be a game we gonna be able to see more incoming talent. Then the Michigan Wolverines at Michigan. They ain't gonna have no quarterback either. But I'm telling you, Michigan, that's a tough environment to play in early in the season. Miller Moss ain't a young quarterback, but that gonna clearly be by far the biggest game of his career on the road. And Michigan known for having great defense, and Michigan can play ball control. Even if our defense is good as I think they is, I done seen Michigan in the game run the ball 30 straight times. Now they did that because they quarterback, they lost faith in J.J. McCarthy for some reason. So this gonna be a slugfest game. I say like 2 touchdowns for Miller. I give him 2 touchdowns because I don't think this game gonna have that many possessions. So I'm looking at Miller Moss 2 to 3 touchdowns. If we get a turnover, I say he get 3 touchdowns. But coming to this game, I know what Michigan gonna do. Harbaugh still there. I know what they gonna do. I seen Harbaugh play USC all the time, and he gonna make it a trenches game. Keep the ball away from our offense. And then this our first year in the Big Ten, y'all. So trust me, they gonna give us that treatment. We're not gonna be getting the calls, especially at Michigan on the road. I see a gang of penalties that they gonna call on us and not gonna call on Michigan. I'm telling you, I think they gonna have that. I think they gonna have the fix in for that game. I don't think the Big Ten want USC and Oregon and Washington and UCLA to come in whooping on their teams from day one. Because that first season, we still going to be looked at as the Pac-12 teams. We ain't gonna be officially looked at as a Big Ten school to like year 2, year 3. But this first year, I'm telling you, we gonna get that treatment with the officials. So I look at this game, a 2 to 3 touchdown game for Miller Moss against the Michigan Wolverines. Then Wisconsin, another tough football team. They always seem to be well coached. They always seem to be competitive every year. But at home with our weapons, and then coming off that Michigan game. See, this is a good thing about playing tough games early, though. So when we play LSU, then we play Michigan. When we play a team like Wisconsin, we gonna be already at that level that it ain't gonna seem like a lesser challenge. Not saying it is, but I feel like by that Wisconsin game, they're gonna be in the flow. They've been played Michigan. They gonna get a taste what it's like to playing that Big Ten style ball on the road. I think it'll be a breath of fresh air wherever the outcome of the Michigan game. And I think that Michigan game, whether they win or lose, they gonna get better that game. Just that experience, just that venue, that well-coached team, blue blood program. I don't know who their quarterback is, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have somebody like Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama. These are schools that, if you don't know who their quarterback is, 9 times out of 10, they got somebody on that roster that's serviceable. You know what I'm saying? So Michigan, I feel like, they can't get no worse than J.J. McCarthy. And I ain't saying he bad, but they had lost faith in the kid. Would go get more worse than you making your team run the ball 30 times in a row when your quarterback in the beginning of the season was a Heisman Trophy candidate. So that gonna be a tough game. In the Wisconsin game, I feel like we gonna get off. I feel like them 2 games against LSU and Michigan gonna prepare us, and we gonna get off. And I feel like Wisconsin, they gonna come with that Big Ten style, but they finna have a little less talent than Michigan, a little less talent than LSU. And then we coming home. So I see Miller Moss going off. In that Wisconsin game with 4 tutties. For sure. And that's the first 4 games. So Wisconsin, I got him throwing 4 tutties, about 300 yards. Michigan, I got him throwing for 2 tutties for like 250, 300 yards. Utah State, I got him throwing for 5 tutties. And LSU, I got him throwing for 4 tutties. So what's that? That's 4, 5, that's 9, 2, 11, 13. I got Miller Moss throwing 13 TDs and probably like 3 to 4 interceptions in the first 4 games. These my Miller Moss. Play that against Utah. We gonna work on that against Utah State. Then we get a bye. Thank God the schedule makers, give us a bye before we go and play Michigan. You get what I'm saying? So the first 4 games, Wisconsin, the first 4 games, it's gonna be up. It's gonna be lit, y'all. And the first 4 games gonna tell us 4 games. In my next video, I'm gonna do the next 4 games. And so on and so on. You get what I'm saying? So what y'all think, man? It's Carter Sports. This is just part 1 of the Miller Moss quarterback projections. What y'all think? Over or under Miller Moss 13 touchdowns or more through the first 4 games? Or under 13, 12 and under? So what y'all got? Y'all got over under Miller Moss first 4 games, 13 tutties. When y'all hit me back with them comments and them likes and subscribe to your boy, I see all the views. Give me some likes. I got videos with 1,000 views and 30 likes. Give me some likes. Give me subscribe. I'm finna come back with part 2 of the Miller Moss quarterback stat projection for 2024. Until then, y'all, it gonna seem like I'm finna be right back. I'm finna be right back with another one. So until then, it's Carter Sports. It's Trojan City. Let's go.